Hey, folks. It's Joe and Mark, your favorite Tuesday buddies.
Oh, yeah. We're here. We're queer.
We're here to let you know this is a little PSA, little PS gay. Mark is off to Spain. He's opening for Bird. He's closing on his wife. He's doing all kinds of shit. I'm going to Maine for my annual vacation. So this 4th of July week, we will be off.
Yes.
Send all your complaints and grievances to Chuck Stanton.
Yes.
STANTON at Gmail. Chuck Stanton.
It's
at
his
Gmail.
last week, so really hit him hard. Tell him all your grievances and complaints, and we'll be off like the bug spray.
Instead of a new episode, we're going to play an old classic for you. Chuck just dusted this off. He went searching for Jimmy Hoffa, and what he found was a videoed Tuesdays with Stories with the great Sam Morril.
Oh, yeah. This is a blast from the past. We dug deep into the Jew tunnels, and we found this Hebe, and it's a wacky one. It's crazy to see us in the old days, in the old studio.
From 2015. I mean, this is when Sam Morril couldn't sell a ticket. Ooh. I didn't even have herpes, and Mark was making love to a lot of different women.
And men.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, check it out. Get on board. Tell a friend, and spread the cheeks and the love.
And if you're listening to the audio version after the Sam's over, we got Sal Vulcano. Whoa! There's no video for that because this one's 300 years old. I remember when we did this one, I'd never heard of Sal Vulcano. I didn't know who the hell that was. He was a fan. He was like nervous.
That's right. That's right. He was on television. I mean, this is before cameras were invented. It's that long ago. So you got to see him. He's young. He's cute. I don't even think he was Puerto Rican yet.
So check that out. Enjoy that. And one more thing, if you're enjoying this, if you like the old episodes, every week on our Patreon, we're posting an old episode.
Best Patreon in the country. So get on it. See the old one. See how the sausage was made. We didn't even have a voice set. We didn't know what we were doing. We barely had cameras and lights and sound. So check it out. If you're real gay, you're going to want to see the old footage.
We got Chris DiStefano, Tim Dillon, fucking the other guy.
Jim Norton did one, I think.
Oh, that's right.
Did he?
Yeah, he did one.
Who else? Mike Drucker, Monroe Martin, a bunch of other people you never heard of.
Way back in the day. So we're releasing those, plus the Q&A-nals. We're taking all your questions. We're getting serious on there, too. I got emotional on one of them.
Yes, it's really some behind the scenes. It's like you're really hanging out with us.
And we made some backstage videos, which are crazy. We got pretty fast and loose on those ones. So the Patreon's the best damn Patreon in the sky. And George is saying cut it.
Yeah.
All right, so now enjoy the rest. Enjoy this. Happy 4th of July. God bless America.
My radio is spitting at me.
Hey, hot tamale, lady with a baby, easy does it. Cool your jets. We're here, everybody. Tuesday with Stories. How are you? Mark Norman in the house.
Hey, Joe List here. I thought you sat on a nail.
4 inches.
Yes.
We're back. We're back in the stewed. Good to have when we got our old pal here. Somebody we're comfortable around. Somebody you've met before. Put your hands together for
Sam Morril. I introduced myself.
Yeah, why not? Sam Morril.
I'm going to keep this unracial. This conversation.
Sammy the Bull, the Jew-faced killer.
Yeah, Sambo.
Small Dick Morril.
Yes.
I don't care for that one.
All his nicknames. Sam is one of the guests we had that was we didn't make the episode, didn't air.
Yeah.
Is that another one?
Yeah, Sam was on with Red State Nate. And we did an episode, and it was a lot of fumbling, and I fired everybody.
Well, you know what? We were all so hungover, and Liz was he was the only one that wasn't in Montreal with us, and he was the only one that wasn't. And we just weren't. None of us were making sense. We were terrible.
Wow, and I was like, I'll just sit back and put my feet up and hear about Montreal, and you guys had a 10-minute argument over what the name of the party was. And I was like, we can't air this.
You guys
nonsense.
You guys were like all amped up for me to tell a hookup story with a comic, and then I can't tell the comic's name. That just kills the story.
Right,
yeah.
There's no fun in that story then.
Well, now we can tell it was Lisa Lampanelli.
Oh, yeah.
She called me a Jew face the whole time. I was terrible.
Oh, jeez, that's insensitive.
Wow, that was that long ago? Gee, that was over a year ago.
2 years ago.
Woo! That was quite a while. This podcast has been on the air since 84.
Wow, pretty good. Animal Farm.
Mm-hmm.
No way. No, 84 is its own book.
1984 is its own book, but same author.
It's there.
Orson Welles.
Orwell.
Yeah, Orson Welles, one of the greats.
Orville Redenbacher.
Yep. Or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, it's good to have you here, Sam. You're a man of the people.
Yeah.
I don't know
what that means. Thank you.
It means you're unshaven. That's what that means.
Boy, you're a great... We talk about you so much on the show, usually negatively. But we know that you won't get too upset about us calling you, a hack and a thief,
Well, Sambo's a Manhattan native.
Yeah.
Real
Yes.
New Yorker,
Yeah.
Jew-face, comedian,
Uh-huh.
drinker,
Uh-huh.
womanizer.
grifter, womanizer.
No, not anymore.
Oh,
yeah,
check
you're
it
a-
down.
I deleted Tinder, I deleted J-Swipe, and I deleted OkCupid.
Wow.
You're a new man.
I'm a new
I
man.
don't even see you anymore. You're one of these guys that gets a girl and then you never hear from him again.
I'm around. That's not true.
around.
I'm around plenty.
Well, maybe you're
I drank with you the other night.
Yeah, and we've been texting, and she's long distance.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
Well,
that
maybe
helps.
something else happened. You mad at me, buddy?
I'm kind of mad at you.
Oh, well, that hurts my feelings. Sam and I have our half-hour special airing the same night, October 24th.
I'm psyched.
Yeah, that's
You're-
going to be
you-
something.
That's going to be huge. We're going to promote the hell out of it. I got my album coming out the day before, too.
Oh, that's sweet.
That'll be a fun weekend.
Oh, boy, we walked the suits already.
Good.
We had some suits in the audience, and they're already gone. That was 2 minutes.
Yeah, Harry Shave just killed themselves.
Jesus Christ. They make me nervous, these suits.
I don't like them.
I don't even know who they are.
Well, that guy was sitting in the dark petting a cat.
Who was that guy?
I don't know. There was white men in suits, which terrifies me, and they're all gone now.
Investors of some kind, right? Investors? Oh,
We can't talk about it. Oh, then, well, they weren't. Nobody's here.
Well, folks, it was nice knowing you.
That was the CIA.
We'll be playing from a garage in Weehawken.
Yeah, and the show will be exactly the same. No offense to the studio. I was just saying how do-it-yourself a podcast is. Now our producer's leaving. What the hell's going on here?
All right, he's just making sure they can't hear us.
Oh, I see.
They're keeping the lights on.
Oh, boy, they might. It wasn't me. It was the CIA.
There you go. What was that, Lee Harvey?
That was White Man Can't Jump.
Yes.
Lee Harvey Oswald, played by Woody Harrelson. Played by Sidney Dean? No, he's the black guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's Wesley
dude,
Snipes.
Marco from Eastville, the
Billy
Brooklyn
Hoyle.
Eastville Comedy Club. Speaking of White Man Can't Jump, he texts Rachel Feinstein the other day. He goes, "Hey, do you have Rosie Perez's number?"
What?
I know it's a dumb. Who has Rosie Perez's number?
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Not her.
Boy, she was hot in that movie.
She was hot.
She has a great
Yeah.
side boob happening.
That's a
Well, you
great
see her
movie.
nipple.
great movie. Love that movie.
You see her big giant nipples.
Big brown nips.
I used to pause it and masturbate to big brown nipples.
Oh, yeah?
Well,
The
yeah,
Stookies.
that movie's great because it's like really just about a white guy getting a dunk in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all it really
true.
is.
Yeah.
But the interacting is so great. Like Brady Bunch and the guy, I'm going to target my other gun.
Yeah. Oh, Raymond.
Raymond.
No, this ain't Raymond. That guy just died. The guy that played the behind the counter guy, the comedian.
Oh, yeah, did he?
What was his name?
Oh, shit.
He was a huge urban comic for
Red-
years. Legend.
Red Fox.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Forget his name. It was Red something.
Pig Meat Markham?
No, it was less legend.
Okay.
But that scene is great.
Great
You talking about
scene.
my wife and kids, and you don't know me? Cut this motherfucker right here.
Cut this motherfucker. And a hook shot.
It's so great because Sidney Dean just sells out Billy's so quickly.
I know.
He's just like, cut him.
But they weren't that close then.
No, but they partnered up.
Sure.
But it's
sure.
hilarious, and
You
that's
don't,
great.
You don't hear Jimmy.
You talking about my wife and kid? That movie's great. We should get together and watch it.
Let's
would
do
love
it.
that.
I would do that.
You know who's a huge White Man Can't Jump fan is Matt Wayne. That was our first. Him and I bonded over White Man Can't Jump the way you and I bonded over Seinfeld, where it was like, oh, I can
Wow.
hang with this guy.
Yeah.
You and I have never bonded, really.
Nah, it's been a long,
Well,
bondless
Woody.
friendship.
We got Woody.
Woody Allen.
Yeah.
Have you seen Irrational Man?
I loved it.
It was good.
I
It was
texted
bad. It
about
got
it.
bad reviews. I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, I gotta
It got
see
mediocre reviews. It's
Yeah.
like 55%.
39.
It was 50 at some point.
39. I just checked.
Oh wow, that was
So-
higher than before.
Well, I got a hold of it.
It's worth seeing.
I thought it was great, but I'm a Woody. I'm for everything he's ever done.
Even the kid touching?
Well, he didn't touch her. He married her. That's not so
Alright,
bad.
Yeah, that's made an honest woman out of her.
Yeah.
Woody, I love Bullets Over Broadway. Just rewatched
Love
that one.
Bullets.
Oh my god,
Oh, yeah.
such a good
Broadway
movie.
Danny
Broadway
Rose.
Danny
That's a
Rose.
great one.
Everyone Says I Love You is one of my favorites.
Hannah and
Yes.
her sisters is great.
That's my number one.
Yeah.
Hannah and Her Sisters is great. That,
Yeah.
You know why it's great? It's like the perfect affair movie.
Yes. I'm
There's
a
like-
crimes and misdemeanor man myself. But
I love that
Well,
one.
that affair ended worse.
Yeah.
Irrational Man is unbelievably similar to Crimes and Misdemeanors,
Ah.
but still great.
Yeah, very similar.
I just read The Girl on the Train. Do you guys read?
Yeah, what is it?
It's a book. It's the longest running number one on the Billboard charts or whatever the book is.
New York Times bestseller.
Bill Book charts.
Aha.
In the UK, 20 weeks in a row. It's a big movie over in England, and now it's sweeping this nation. And I read it in 2 days. It's fantastic.
All right, I'll check
What's
it
the
out.
premise?
It's a crime novel, and this girl is on a train, And she keeps looking at these apartments out her window of the train, and she starts seeing it's like kind of rear windowy almost. And then she becomes involved.
One of the best movies ever.
Yeah, she becomes all involved with everybody, and really unravels, and it's guessy. And I think I'm like a middle-aged woman when it comes to books.
No, it sounds great.
You're in a bubble bath.
Yes, I loved Gone Girl as well. The book, the movie's a piece of shit.
Oh, come on. Piece of shit.
Rear Window
It's a
is
piece of
like
shit.
Rear Window is like the ultimate movie of its time. Like the way like Seinfeld you can't recreate because like it's so much texting stuff. You know? Now that would like unravel it.
Right.
Same with they tried to redo Rear Window Disturbia. What a piece of shit movie that was with Shia LaBeouf. Well, they have to write in stupid shit now, you know?
For the phones.
Yeah. Well, they're like, he can't find his phone or something. You know? That's like how they do it because they're like, get out of the garage. And he's just like, well, I can't find my cell phone. It's the worst.
Yeah, he got drunk and lost it. I've been there.
I think I told this on the podcast maybe. I went and saw Rear Window in the theaters. We might have talked about this. And it was such a bummer because...
How old are you?
In L.A. It was like the, special movie night.
I love that, though. The old movies in the theater.
I love that, too.
It was great. And but then the big punchline, what do you call it when it's not comedy?
Climax.
The Jimmy Stewart's falling out of the window, and the shot is so cheesy that the whole theater erupts in laughter.
Wow.
At the climax. And I'm like, you fucks.
Yeah.
Suspend disbelief, you fucking jerk-offs. It's shot in the 30s.
It's also like the greatest director of that time, and they're laughing at him now.
Yes.
One of the best of all time.
Yeah, ever.
Yeah, it's just they didn't have the technology, so he's like, Stewart's like, woo, and like it is a little silly. There's a movie screen flying behind him.
Hanging out of the window.
Yeah, it's like you don't ruin it.
But that's the beauty of Scorsese. You'll never laugh at that.
Well, we don't know. Hitchcock. People were laughing at that.
Yeah, but Scorsese.
But they were idiots, though.
Came in the 70s and the technology had come around.
Sure.
So you can have somebody shot in the face. But like The Godfather has the Mo Green shooting where he shoots a guy in the eye at point blank and like blood comes out of his face and he puts his head down.
It looks silly.
Which is a little silly.
Yeah.
But Scorsese was always grittier than that anyways and too good for that.
He's got the new movie coming out. What is it, White City? It's about a book.
The Devil in the White City?
There it is.
Scorsese's directing that?
With Leo.
DiCaprio.
Yeah.
I know DiCaprio, but I started reading that book, but then it took too long to get into the biz. It upsets me that I can't read a book about a serial killer in the 1800s, but a book about a woman taking a bubble bath and seeing a murder. I'm like, woo, I can't stop.
Well, trains are fun.
I shouldn't have given it a gay voice. That was offensive.
I didn't know that was gay, so you're all right.
Oh, okay.
Well, I thought it was like a little girl.
Well, oh, jeez. Well, now you've done it. But anyway, I bumped into my episode of Last Comic Standing aired, and I did the yoga joke where I say homophobic. And I bumped into a gay friend of mine, and he goes, hey, you're not really homophobic, are you? I just want to make sure. And I'm like, God, Jesus Christ.
Wow.
And I was like, if I was homophobic, I wouldn't go on NBC saying I'm homophobic.
Exactly.
The words just go together, you fucks.
Yeah, people forget that we say things to get laughs.
Yes. Yes.
Which is weird to forget because that's the definition of the job.
I know, but people like comics are the one group that are not let off the hook for that. Like if you see a comic talk about something dark, people are like, no.
Right.
But like if there's the same people that see a Tarantino movie and they're like, yes, yes. They're like cheer on a Nazi scene in Inglourious Bastards,
right?
You know? Or they'll think Christoph Waltz was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like you don't understand that we go to dark places to make jokes too. Or we'll use maybe the word homophobic is the right amount of syllables.
Exactly. Horny, homophobic, and relaxed. It's
alliteration and the right amount of syllables.
But also, to be fair, Tarantino also gets hammered.
He does.
For using the N-word 500 times in all these movies. So people, I mean, it's not like people are just like, that's great.
Right.
I mean,
he does get
getting
hammered,
crushed.
for sure.
And then he won an Oscar for a script that has the N-word in it 700 times. 2 Oscars now.
What?
Combined. Pulp Fiction and... what's the...
Django, did he win?
Django.
He won for Django?
He won Best Screenplay, yeah.
Wow.
And he won both of those, and the N-word is in it probably 500 times combined. So he gets plenty of flack.
Well, if it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
But he's got Sam Jackson with him. It would help me if I had, like, Mateo stand next to me while I do my jokes with my arm around him. People would be like, this guy's I'd be lauded.
But also, it's just trigger words. I don't think they really care. Because how come they only take... We've had this argument before, but... If I do a homophobia joke and then I do a joke about how I'm a millionaire, no one goes, hey, are you actually a millionaire? Why? Why do you only take one seriously?
Because one of them's believable.
Shit. Well, that's the end of that.
But,
and it's personal to them, I guess.
That's what it is.
Also, you're just going to get that on primetime, man. You're just going to get some idiots. I'm getting the funniest tweets about Last Comic because I got knocked off, and there was this woman on my episode, Amy Miller, who I don't know, but since I got knocked off and she moved on, every tweet is tagging her. He gets knocked out and this bitch moves on.
That's bad.
So and then I just feel I don't know her. I feel bad. She seems fine. And then now I think she's just like reading. She must just be reading or searching her own name because the ones she's not even tagged in, she'll just write back like "fuck you."
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, this is what we keep talking. You can't get involved in that stuff.
You can't feed into the trolls.
But hopefully she's not mad at you.
No, she wrote something about like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I ruined your chances." I just wrote back, "Apology accepted."
Oh boy,
I like that. I like that.
yeah.
But yeah, dude, you came off great. I was happy how I came off on the show. I mean, for being knocked off, they aired my whole set.
Yeah,
that's good.
And people love it. I keep getting tweets that are like, "I hope you don't get the Sam Morril treatment. He's the funniest guy on the show." Like you're getting so much.
Yeah, I got a lot
love
of
from
nice
it.
positivity. I had a fun night after that because Conan. Well, what happened? They aired my zing on Conan. Here's an interesting little tidbit that didn't make the show: is that Conan said to me, "I like Norm compliments me, Roseanne compliments me, and then Keenan Ivory Wayans says." I liked some of your jokes, but I didn't like others. And I said, well, I liked all your scary movie films. And that gets a really big laugh. And
Nice.
Then he said, I only did the first two. And that gets a big laugh, but it didn't get a laugh when he actually said it. They sweetened it, so he got a laugh. And so then I'm like, I come off. I'm like, well, I won that. That was cool. Whatever. I'm in the food area because I was the last comic in my group, and Norm comes over to me, and we have a really great conversation. He's
Wow.
like, where did we meet? We met before, and I said we met at Caroline's like 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
And he said, I only remember it because I never go to Caroline's. So we talked for a while. We have a good talk. He was like, I loved your zing on Keenan. I'm feeling good. Then they don't call me. And Norm actually said to me, see you in round 2 in the set, or I can't wait to see you in round 2, something like that.
Did they show that?
Yeah, they showed that.
Oh, good.
Wow.
So and then Norm has tweeted like, I agree with half the decisions like each episode. He doesn't make the choices himself, and of all the people that you want on your side, he was the guy that I wanted,
Of
obviously.
course.
So then I go out I'm in a bad mood, obviously, after this. I know what I signed up for, but
Sure.
I'm like, I'm getting drunk.
Yeah, you
And
were bummed.
I was bummed. I was in like, I was in a place where I was seeking too much fulfillment from this.
Right.
Yes.
And you need other happiness in life, or you're
Yeah.
going to be a miserable person.
Well, in a real comedy world, you would have succeeded. That's
Right.
the part that's a bummer.
Unfortunately, this business is not a real comedy
Exactly.
world. Like you can't wait for the industry to just hand you shit to make you happy.
Right.
So I go to the bar at the hotel. I'm drinking with a lot of the losers.
Yeah.
We're getting smashed, and I just end up staying up all night drinking. And they picked me up at like 4 a.m. for a 7 a.m. flight. So I was up all
I was
night.
coming in the next day. We were texting.
Yeah,
because I was arriving and you were leaving, so it was a fun juxtaposition.
Well, I'm up all night. I get on the flight, and I'm randomly seated next to my childhood friend, who I think, Mark, you've met, actually. I met this guy, Chris Koulakundis. I know this guy growing up.
He's the fuck up.
No, that's Adam.
Oh, it's Adam.
I got some
Okay.
funny Adam stories.
All right.
I saw him in AC a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
Degenerate
geez.
Gambler only comes because I'm going playing AC.
So he's gotten it together then.
So Chris, his sister, is sitting next to me on the flight, and just randomly sitting next to me. I grew up with this kid.
Yeah.
And she's like, Sam Morril? I was like, yeah. She's like, how are you? I'm like, before I can even mention anything about Last Comic or the fact that I'm bombed at like 7 a.m., she just starts venting to me about her friend's suicide. And I'm so tired.
Yikes.
I'm so tired that I just pass out in the middle of her story. And I wake up as we're landing.
You committed like a mini suicide.
And as we're landing, I was just like, well, it was good catching up. And she's like, yep, good to see you. And that was it.
Oh, that's classic.
That's a 5-hour flight, too.
Yeah, I mean, I was a mess.
You should have said, I missed the ending. What happened? How did he turn out? How was the funeral? Oh, boy, that poor girl.
Yeah.
And guy.
She didn't wake you.
She didn't wake me. It would have been great though if she was just like still going as I woke up, like
Yeah.
that classic movie. No, I just told her I was really drunk and tired, and she
Yeah.
understood. She was cool about it.
Just be like, I'm sorry, I'm suicidal. Wow, that's and I wanted to address real quick because I didn't get to before. Norm made a thing about me where he said your future is in writing, and unanimously everyone has taken it the wrong way. And people are tweeting at me being like, fuck Norm, you're great, and he doesn't know what he's talking about. You have great stage presence. And he had to like tweet to be like, no, I think he's good. He just meant writing is better than acting, and he has to keep tweeting. So people thought that was offensive
That's
for
a
some
huge
reason.
compliment.
Yeah.
though.
I thought it was the greatest compliment I've ever received in my
Yeah.
life.
And that's a sad state of affairs when people are like, ugh, writer. You're like, no, writer's good.
Well, I think because Anthony said, oh, Norm just called you ugly, and it got a laugh.
That's a funny line though.
And it was a
That's
great
a good
line,
line, yeah.
and I was never offended for a second about any of it. I was thrilled. So it's weird. People, I think, took it the wrong way, so lay off of Norm. It was a meaningful compliment.
Yeah, it's just people read into so much stuff. They get so angry on Twitter, and then even when they're in your favor, sometimes you're like, dude, settle down.
Right,
I'm doing all right. I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I hate to shit. I know you're on the show, but I'm going to shit on it.
Yeah.
And this is me talking, not Joe. But like, Roseanne and Kenan are so out to lunch that I can't even stand it. It drives me crazy. And then Norm comes in, and they make him look kind of like this kooky, weird old guy, but he's like the sane one.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, yeah, I just don't know what you're talking about. I didn't follow it. And they're like, we love you. And Norm's like, I'm not on board.
Yeah.
I don't get it. And I'm like, thank God. And I'm sure people at home are like, oh, he's the Simon Cowell of the group. And it's like, no, this is a special thing. Stand-up comedy. And you guys don't get it, and he does. Listen to him.
Right.
It just bugs me.
I agree completely. Yeah, there's like so much. Roseanne is just playing it safe with positivity.
Yeah.
And she's very nice. She's a very nice person, you know? But how often is Roseanne at the clubs? How often how often is Kenan at the clubs? I heard he drops in occasionally, but it's like very rare, I'm sure.
Right.
Does he do an act?
Yeah, he was a good comic back in the day.
Wait, what?
Like, yeah, back in the day.
Kenan?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, Damon was like the beast of the family. Damon Wayans was like the guy who everyone was like, this is going to be the next Eddie Murphy.
Right. There was a point in my life where Damon Wayans was the funniest person I had ever seen in my life.
Oh,
I thought he was funnier than Jim Carrey on the
Homie the
show.
Clown, yeah.
I thought it was like Damien and then Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
And then he started getting very dramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he did Mo Money and Blank Man. Very dramatic movie.
Yeah, and then The Last Boy Scout, though, he did that.
You're right.
And that stuff.
That was when Sandler was hip.
Sandler.
Who am I thinking of? Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis.
I'm thinking of Bulletproof.
That was one of the worst.
Bulletproof.
Have you tried to rewatch that one?
I think I saw it in a hotel.
Oh, it's the worst movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Wow. And then he did Celtic Pride, written by our friend Colin Quinn.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Quinn was on Seth Meyers last night. I watched his segment. It was so funny.
Oh, yeah?
He's the
At
best.
some point, he starts telling Jerry, he's like, he could have done this. He goes, I'm not trying to rewrite Seinfeld here.
Funny.
Wow. So, wait. Chris is the good one. What was the Adam fuck up? Is he the guy who tried to get the whore?
What are you talking about?
Adam, your old friend?
Oh, Adam? Oh, okay. I was just in Atlantic City.
Atlantic City.
I was just in Atlantic. Adam his mom was a hoarder. Adam. Every one of Adam's stories ends with, and then I woke up next to a crack pipe and a hooker. That's every story.
We got to get him on. What are we doing with you
and
here?
he doesn't ever have sex with the hooker. He's just, I think, bored and kind of lonely and he just like wants to hang out.
Yeah.
Wow, that's the biggest commercial against crack I've ever heard. You pay for hooker and then don't fuck her. That's worse than losing your family and shooting your face off or whatever the hell people do. Speaking of drugs, real quick, I wanted to get this one out there. This is a good window into our obsession with our phone and being desensitized and all this. I was walking through Union Square the other day, and there's like that little Skid Row section, on that park, and I saw these three people holding down this other guy, and they were shooting heroin, I assume, possibly Botox, into his face. And I was like, I had to look away. They were shooting heroin in his forehead or his eye or wherever you shoot. I guess maybe his temple. And they were like, all right, it's going to be easy. Just go easy. And I saw it from like 2 feet away. And then here's the story. I forgot to tell anybody for 2 days. Yeah. Because like as soon as I walked by, I was like, that was disturbing. And then I check out my phone, my Twitter. It was kind of New York, but it was more like
phone,
social media wrapped up because I'm like, start tweeting. And then I'm like, I got to buy that book for Sarah. I went and bought the book, Girl on the Train. I'm going backwards here. But I went and bought the book, and I bought Judd Apatow's book, and I'm flipping through that. I meet up with Greg Stone. We start chatting. I Facebook post. I go. Sarah and I catch up. I'm like, did you see this dumb idiot's tweet? This person ate it. She bombed. He stinks.
Right.
And then literally the next day, I'm like, I forgot to tell you. I saw a guy having heroin shot into his face.
Yes.
In person. And just forgot it. I forgot about it. That's insane.
That is crazy.
Like normal people, that should be a story they tell, they lead with.
Yeah, in South Dakota, that's your opener.
right. Yeah, you have nightmares for years.
Yeah, and I was texting with Taylor Ketchum, who's a past guest and a former junkie, and I was like, do they shoot heroin in their eye? And he's like, no. He's like, but any vein. But then I Googled, and I think some people do shoot into their eyelid or eye.
You've got to really have done, with your vein and your arm and your toe, and I think they go to the feet afterwards.
Yeah, and they want to hide, but maybe it's the head. I don't know. I think they're obviously, and they had a dog too, which was interesting.
That always frustrates me. That always frustrates me.
Yeah, because you love dogs.
I do like dogs. I like cats too. I like animals.
We
love dogs.
We really
trashed cats in the last episode.
Really?
Well, the cat had fleas, so.
That's
Yeah.
gross.
But that goes back to a great Norm joke. He goes, "Hey, you ever see a hobo with a dog? Longest walk in the world for that dog." That's a classic.
What about his homophobic joke? The dogs. He goes, they say when you're
that's a long one.
homophobic, you probably are. You're probably afraid of gay people. Oh, if you're afraid of gay people, you probably actually are gay. And he's like, that's kind of weird because I'm really afraid of dogs.
I've heard worse versions of that joke. That's a funny
Me too,
version.
yeah. He's got that great one. He's like, I saw a guy at the gay pride parade. He said it was like a mom and said, I'm a proud parent of my gay son. He's like, well, what are you proud of? He didn't accomplish anything. Yeah. He's classic.
Great.
He's
That's a
funny
good
guy.
twist on it. Yeah, Norm is such a legend.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the king. All right, well, go ahead,
Well,
Mark.
I just want to say, I saw a guy shoot heroin like 2 weeks ago, and I didn't say anything either. So,
It's very strange.
yeah, Tompkins Square Park. I was boxing with Sergio, and a guy was just looking around all shifty and shot it right into his his back of his knee or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you could see the needle go in and everything, and then he did like the lay back and the eyes rolled back. It was crazy.
Wow,
I
it
always
seems
think
like
of
fun.
that DC Benny bit, about the guy.
Yes.
He's like, I saw a guy doing Tai Chi in the park in Brooklyn. It turns out he got close. He just strung out on heroin trying to stand.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's a great. Yeah, the act out is what sells it.
Yeah,
Not the
yeah.
best podcast joke, but
It works.
I love it. I
Yeah.
think it's a great bit.
Funny comic. I want to tell the story real quick, and we quarreled over whether or not this was podcast worthy, and I say it is.
Okay.
Tell us about this Bridgeport show, because I think it's hilarious.
Connecticut?
Yes.
One of the
this
worst
is-
cities on the planet.
Oh,
Terrible.
it's it's
I mean,
actually
not
funny.
planet, but country.
After I did this gig, a little side note, I'm watching Family Guy, and Seth MacFarlane, I guess, makes a joke
Yeah.
saying how the cutaways how shitty Bridgeport is.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
And then he turns to the camera and he goes, "What are you gonna do? Write a letter?" And it gave me such satisfaction after. Let me tell the story of the gig.
Wow.
So these guys get in touch with me to do a gig, and it was like a Thursday night. It was pretty good money for like a one-nighter. So I was like, all right, easy to get to, train, they'll pick me up. They come to see me at Eastville Comedy Club in the city, and they see me have like an unbelievably good set because the crowd is just so hot. It's like one of those sets I'm like, I know if they're expecting this, it's not going to happen at their venue.
Yeah.
They're already, I can tell, a little bit of a problem. They're all drunk.
Uh-huh.
One of them keeps referring to himself as the muscle of the group, which I'm like, these are not my type of people, if you're like the muscle. So the gig comes, they're like, come early, we'll get you pizza next door. And I'm like, all right, sounds good. We get pizza. There's a basketball game on. So I'm talking, I love basketball. We're talking about basketball. And then the guy who refers to himself as the muscle of the group says, yeah, I just did a year in county for Slingin Clink. And I was like, what does that have to do with basketball?
Yeah.
I was like, we were talking about basketball. He's like, oh, yeah, I guess it does have nothing to do with basketball. And I was like, are you trying to fuck with me or something? I kind of said that. I was like, I don't know what you're trying to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Slinging Clink.
Is that
Yeah.
Coke?
Yeah.
Okay.
Clink is a
No,
word
no,
for
no,
jail.
no. I did a year in the Clink for Slingin Coke. I misspoke.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
Slingin Clink.
Slingin Clink. He was dealing prisons.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
but that, which is a real thing.
No, but yeah. So I'm just like right out of the gate. I'm kind of like, who are these people? Who am I dealing with? And I know I know it's like kind of like a real blue collar city. You know? So I go on.
That's, by the way, the nicest way to put it.
Yeah, I'm trying to be nice.
Shithole.
I would
It's a
call
shithole.
Boston a blue-collar city.
Well, Connecticut's a weird state like that, where like every 10 minutes you get like the nicest area in the country, and then the next 10 minutes away it's the worst area. It's just, it's a weird area. It's
one
a
of the
weird state.
richest states, but has 3 of the worst cities, crime-wise.
Yeah, it's a strange state. So I do the gig. It's in a nice venue called the Bijou Theater, which is like a
Oh,
weird.
I've
It's
been
one
there.
of those. Yeah, it's one of those old theaters.
Yeah.
That is like they have old movies. They play like Casablanca there. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I love theaters like that.
Or Rear Window.
Yeah, I love it. So I go on stage. I'm already out of the gate, like 10 minutes in. I've been heckled every joke. This one guy,
Wow.
he is humongous. Like I can just tell by his upper body, he's gonna end my fucking life.
Yeah.
So I'm like delicately putting him down. I'm getting laughs, putting him down, like kind of like, and I'm trying to be subtle about it.
Yeah.
We're at like the 20-something minute mark, and he's still heckled. Like it's every joke.
Wow.
And I'm just like, dude. At this point, I just go, dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut your fucking face. I'm like, people came out, they probably hired a babysitter. No one
Yeah.
gives a shit about you. Stop talking. You're a fucking Neanderthal.
Yes.
And it gets to that point, he gets up, and I'm like, okay, he's bigger than I thought he was.
Oh,
like,
boy.
he had a big upper body. He's a big lower body, too. And he's like, starts walking toward the stage, and I'm like, God fucking damn it. Of course, this always happens in rooms that are not police, because no one's shushing him.
Right.
Right.
So he just keeps walking towards me, and he goes, "I'm gonna kick your fucking ass," and I'm just like, "Well, then I'm out of here. I'm not. I'm speaking into the mic right now."
And how old is this guy? White guy, black guy, 40s?
He's a white guy. He just looks like a big meathead. He just looks like a guy who played football and kept working out.
So like in his 20s?
Yeah, late 20s, I would say.
Wow, all right.
And maybe early 30s, but he's huge.
Yeah.
And
What's his beef? He's just a dick.
he's just mad that I called him a Neanderthal, probably.
But before that, he's just a drunk moron.
But also, like, yeah, of course, he's awful.
Yeah.
And also, like, if you're not a dumb Neanderthal, are you really gonna step up and be like, "What did you fucking call me?"
Right,
You know?
of course.
Yeah.
So he comes over to me, and he's trying to like get on the stage, and I have a cordless mic, so I go, "Okay, no one's gonna do anything." I'm like looking around the room for someone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "All right, I'm not making enough to pay for medical bills, so I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later." And they start booing me. The crowd just
What?
booing me. Yeah, they might be booing the situation.
They're booing the
Yeah,
situation.
Yeah.
I walk off. I have the mic with me. I'm in the green room.
Is he
And-
climbing on the stage?
Yeah, he's trying.
Oh,
He's
my
trying.
God.
Yeah. Some woman runs back, and I guess another woman's like back. It's like great security. Two women who are like with the same build as me, basically.
Right.
She's trying to barricade the door. This has actually happened to me a couple of times where people like try, and women always like coming to my aid.
Yeah. For some reason, you're a very controversial figure. And you're sweet as pie.
You know what though? It's like on stage you feel invincible, so you do shit on
Oh,
people.
yeah.
You-
It's a
you-
problem that comedians have. I've been
Yeah.
talking about it.
But so I'm in the green room, and she walks up to me. She's like, "What do you think you're doing?" I was like, "I'm still have the mic in my hand." I'm like, "What am I doing?" I'm like, "No one's policing the room. This is ridiculous." And she said, "Well, you can't. This is not acceptable." And I was like, "Have you ever done stand-up comedy?" And she said, "No." And I was like, "Have you ever been punched in the face?" And she's like, "No." I was like, "Well, then you're not qualified to tell me how to behave right now."
Yeah, I'm getting heckled nonstop. What
The crowd
fuck?
the crowd hears all of this, by the way, because I have
Oh,
the mic
I
in my
love it.
hand.
I
So
love
they're
it.
just like booing nonstop. The guy, it takes like 7 minutes or so, which is like the longest 7 minutes
Yeah.
when people are booing you.
Yeah.
And then they finally, she understands. I go back out and I do like another 30 minutes. And it takes me a good 10 to get him on my side
Wait,
again.
where's
Yeah.
the guy? Is he chained up now?
He's outside, and someone heckled me. He's waiting outside for you.
Jesus.
And I remember the biggest laugh I got. I was like, it's a classy gig when afterwards you got to plan an escape route.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, right.
Which I did. They were like, he really was waiting outside for me.
Wow. So somebody did kick him out.
Yeah, I guess people booed enough with like, you got to leave or he's not going to come back out.
Yeah.
A couple of girls.
Which is hilarious that like you come off as the bad guy because you don't want to fucking fight.
Yeah.
It's like it also
Oh
just
my
shows
God.
how disrespected comedy is.
Yes.
Because like you think any politician ever has to deal with that? They're giving a speech,
Right.
And they're just like, "Please quiet down, please."
Yeah.
Well,
they have
to be-
security get rid of people.
Yeah.
To be
of course.
fair, several politicians have been shot in the face.
That's true.
True.
But they were really good politicians.
That's true.
They were
Yeah.
it's not usually like the low level people that people even care about.
Right.
And there is a Secret Service. They just dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have no service.
No.
But
I just pictured this guy pacing outside, punching his palm like
he was
like
ready
Bluto.
for me. Yeah, he was ready.
Oh my God.
And
that's
then they had
crazy.
to like sneak me out a back door, which also feels so degrading to be snuck out a back door to
Sure,
avoid a
sure.
fight. And I finished the gig. It was humiliating.
Did you jump in a car?
The guy whose gig it was super apologetic.
Oh,
'Cause
good.
He's the non-muscle guy, the other guy.
Where the hell was the muscle?
The muscle dropped the ball.
Oh, yeah, the muscle should have been there.
He was slinging clink.
I actually asked him. I was like, you refer to yourself as the muscle, and you did nothing.
Yeah.
That's terrifying to me. I would never come back out again. I
I
would have
think-
ran while he was still in there.
They didn't say this, but I kind of did the math, and I think he was one of the muscle's friends.
Oh, that makes sense. Those muscles stick together.
Yeah, it was the other
Right,
muscle.
none of us have muscles.
Interesting. See, I have a weird thing in my head where when that shit happens, I got to go out and talk to the guy. Like, I would be like, what is it, man? What's the problem?
He didn't seem like the type of guy that really
Yeah.
cared about reason.
Sure.
No negotiating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had been punched in the face like a month before.
Oh, really? Tell
Yeah.
us that.
Whoa.
It's not that good a story. It's just I was in Seattle. I was at a tiki bar, and
Tiki bar.
yeah, I was single. I was with my opener, this guy Andrew Rivers. He's a good guy.
Yeah, I know Andrew Rivers.
Yeah, and
He's best friends with Adam from Tacoma.
Ah.
well, we basically were just out, and this guy's. I was talking to a girl. Her friend kept kind of cock blocking me, and I finally just insulted her for cock blocking me nonstop. She was like, "My friend's not interested in you." I was like, "Well, she can tell me that. You don't have to keep telling me that." And she just kept saying that to me, and then I just insulted her, and her boyfriend just sucker punched me in the face.
Oh,
Like pretty. He's a really big dude.
oh
Yeah.
Jesus.
You didn't see it coming.
No, I didn't.
You were
I
a
was,
sucker.
I was a. all I felt was bam, super hard. And I was just
Wow.
like, Jesus Christ. And the one good thing I felt about, I was pretty drunk, and I can't fight, but I can take a graceful beating.
Oh, interesting.
I'm not a good fighter, but I do. I didn't go down or anything. I just kind of turned. It was kind of badass.
A graceful beating is a good name for your next album.
It's like Cool Hand Luke. He just keeps coming back.
Yeah.
But he doesn't get a
Dude,
punch in.
that was one
And
of the
a lot
best
less
scenes.
attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's face it. Come on, Paul Newman.
Yeah.
Those
Blue
blues.
eyes. Yeah, come on.
Why
Half
couldn't you-
Jew.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, just his dad's half, I guess.
Sure.
Newman, very Jewy name. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking of Juman. That might have been the worst bomb in the history of
I got
stories.
I got into a near fight in Cleveland. I don't think I've ever told this story on a podcast, but that I told you the White Knight story, right?
Yes.
Okay, this is what happened. I was
Wait, was this the same story?
no, it's a different story.
Wait, what happened with this?
I just got punched in the face, and I iced my face at a bar for a while. It sucked.
And that was it.
That was it.
All right, well, that was
I told you, it's not a good story.
All
Did
right.
they kick the guy out?
No, they didn't.
So you just had to sit there with ice in your face?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty funny. That's a
Yeah.
good story.
I guess.
It's all perspective.
This one was a better one. This one's I think a more interesting story. I was in Cleveland, and I was out after a show. Hilarity is a great club, and I was drinking the banana pepper martinis there, and I was like pretty drunk.
Banana
And-
pepper martini. Who are you?
They're fantastic. They're
Really?
I mean, it's like a dirty martini.
Yeah, I do
Banana
love,
pepper.
I do love a
Does
dirty
it taste like
martini.
peppers or bananas?
It's like a spicy martini. It's fantastic.
Wow.
It's what I recommend it.
All
Try
right,
it.
I'll try it.
It's
Wait,
a martini
oh.
bar. They have special. Oh, you can't try it. You can try it.
I like a martini, but I hate the glass.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
You spill. It's pretentious.
Yeah, you
It's
hold
very
it.
You have to
pretentious.
smoke.
Right, I always tell the guy, give me a martini in a rocks glass, and they go, so you want a rocks martini? I'm like, no, just pour it in the glass. They can never.
It should come with like a cigarette holder and a copy of the New Yorker.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And
pretentious.
a top hat and a monocle.
I picture you drinking martinis in a Burger King cup with a straw.
Hey, I've done that before.
Well, I've had a bunch of drinks. I'm done after the show. I start talking to a really hot older woman, and we start kind of. She's with a friend who's the worst. I hated this guy. He's just like he's buying me drinks, but you can tell he's buying me drinks to keep me away from her.
The friend that's with the girl that you're trying to fuck is never going to be a good guy.
Never.
He's not a good unless he's gay, maybe.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but he's in the friend zone, and I can tell he's pissed about it.
Of course.
He's not happy. He doesn't like that she's talking to me. I know he's going to be a problem, so I do the classic. Once he goes to the bathroom, I say, "Hey, let's go and get some fresh air." We're outside. We're just making out against like
You're making out with the guy?
with the girl.
Ah.
And that'd be a good way to get rid of him.
You slipped him the old banana pepper.
We're making out outside. It's hot, and I say, "Let's go to another bar." Because he's a problem, and she said, "Fine." So we go. This is how stupid I am. We just go to the bar right across the street.
Right.
I'm drunk.
Where are we again?
Cleveland.
Cleveland, okay.
And this is like this is when Cleveland was kind of shitty because LeBron was still in Miami.
Kind of shitty.
Yeah, it's the worst city in America.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's downtown is nicer when LeBron's there.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
But with the bar across the street, it's going well. I'm like, all right, let's go back to my place. She's like, let's go back to your place. So
Yes!
we're walking out. The guy is there. He's smoking a cigarette outside.
Oh, boy.
What?
I have a cigarette too. I
Not
light
the play
it.
at the bar.
Oh, the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy's
I thought he was
outside.
outside of your place.
No.
He's
The hotel's right across from the.
Okay.
So I had the shortest distance to get to, and
Yeah.
he's there.
Oh, my God. So he's into her.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And he's like a creepy looking dude. He's missing a tooth. So I'm like, he's done this before. I'm guessing he's missing a tooth from a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? And he just goes, "Oh, where are you guys going?" He's acting all friendly, but with that kind of like cunty tone.
Oh, yeah.
Who I know I'm in trouble, you know?
Yeah.
And he said, "Where are you going?" I said, "Oh, we're going back to my place." And he gets in my face. He's like, "You just gonna like fuck her and then fly back to New York?"
Yes.
I was like, "Yeah, that was a game plan."
Yeah.
I was gonna pitch it to her differently. I don't know.
I can't believe old Toothy is giving you moral advice.
This guy
Yeah.
sounds like a first-class jerk.
I did not like him.
Yeah, me either.
I was like, I'm not gonna move to Cleveland. We're going back to so we're going back to my hotel room. He goes, "You're not going anywhere."
Whoa.
He got aggressive, and I'm like drunk. I'm smoking a cigarette, and I'm like blowing it in his face. I'm like ready. I'm like
Yeah.
drunk enough that I want to fight this guy.
Now,
at
where
this
is
point.
she during this episode?
She's just quietly right next to her.
She's there.
She's there.
What? And she's
Wow.
not getting mad at him and
I
being
think
like, "Hey,
she- I-
fuck you, Tony."
She seemed a little scared of him. Yeah, I think.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But then like scared, but also like it seems like an abusive friendship. It seems like he pretends to be there for her, but then doesn't let her do anything. One of those.
Right.
That's the thing with these towns. There's nothing to do. People just befriend these idiots.
Exactly. And that I say we're going back to my place, and he goes, you want to fuck her? You got to fight me first.
Oh.
And I was just like,
this is hot.
I'm so angry at this point because I don't want to fight, but I'm like so fed up and I'm drunk, and it's been like hours of this guy doing this shit.
What an asshole. This is the plot of The Girl on the Train, by the way.
What does he look like? Big guy? Ponytail?
I'm bigger than him. I think I could probably take him, but then you're like, well, these dudes he's probably like a knife or something. I don't know what. Like people don't fight with any grace.
They're very cavalier.
And the toothless shit too.
So I take a puff of my cigarette, I blow it in his face.
Nice.
And I say, you're not fucking worth it. And he goes, okay, and he walks away. And this is when the girl goes with him, and I'm just like, I'm not even gonna object. I'm not going to object at this point. What can I possibly do?
This is an abusive relationship.
Oh yeah,
well, this girl's an idiot. Obviously.
She's an idiot, and I'm just like, well, that's that. What do you like? It's not worth fighting over. This guy is a creep.
Sure.
So then, as they walk away, there's a guy. It's Cleveland. It's downtown. It's super cold. I think it's like February or something.
Oh.
And
Valentine's Day.
And this guy's in like a white fleece with a matching white sweatpants, and he's just like kind of crouched on a ledge outside, and he just says, I wasn't going to let anything happen to you.
Whoa.
And I turn around, I was like, who the fuck are you?
Wow, he's your angel.
Yeah. And he said, I patrol this area. And I was like, you mean you work for that bar? And he was like, no.
Huh.
Oh, wow.
I was like, what do you mean? You're like a vigilante? And he was like, yeah, kind of.
Wow, he's like Clarence.
I don't know what that is.
Oh,
it's
You
Wonderful
Bet Your
Life.
Life. Sorry.
You Bet Your Life.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
But yeah, he said, yeah, I patrol. I don't like that. Like, I love Cleveland. I wasn't gonna let anything happen to you. And we just start talking
What?
for a while. Yeah, he's like he's like a thick dude.
Yeah.
He looks like he looks like he'd take a beat. And I was like, well, don't you get hurt like doing this? And he's like, yeah, man, I got stabbed a few months ago. It neighbored my kidneys. And I was like, oh my god, neighbored your kidneys?
Holy
like
shit.
this guy's a bad motherfucker to talk like that.
Yeah, who loves Cleveland?
I know.
That
I guess if you grew up there, you protect. You like.
I
People,
guess,
that's the thing
yeah.
about like cities like that. They like remember Scott Robb, the writer
Yes.
that we hung out with. Diehard Cleveland. All like certain people are obsessed with these towns they come from.
Yeah.
Because it's like a point of pride. I get it.
Yeah.
And the guy was cool. We talked for a while. I was wasted, and I was like, "What's your superhero name?" It's like the Snowflake, and he said, "I go by the White Knight."
Wow.
And I was like, "Whoa, that's pretty." That's like I'm so drunk that I'm like, "That's fucking cool, dude."
Yeah.
And, I end up going back to my hotel room, and I wake up the next morning, and I get an email, and it's from, and I told him to come to my show tomorrow night, like the next night. And he's like, I'll fucking be there, no question. And he
You can police the room.
yeah.
Could have used him in a bijou. Yeah.
Well, I told him, I wake up to an email from him, and it says I would have. He said I'd love to make it tonight, which I get. This means I had a business card that I gave my network. I was like, I should network with this guy. He seems like a reliable person in my life. And he said I'd love to be there. I picked up a shift at work, so I can't make it. Signed Noah, and then in parentheses the White Knight.
Wow.
So his name's Noah.
Picked up a shift. They mean they showed his light in the sky. We had to go.
It was a
rescue
Chipotle. It was
yeah.
a Batman thing with the Chipotle logo.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And did you ever hear from the girl again?
Never.
I feel like that guy probably went home and beat her within an inch of his life with a belt.
What
for
can
talking
you
to a
do?
Jew face.
I guess.
you gotta
yeah.
I shouldn't be laughing at that. I laughed at Jew face, not the beating, for the record.
Jesus, that's terrifying. That poor girl.
Yeah, man, people are in messed up relationships. I also think about that, like when I'd go on the road and I was single and I'd log on to like OkCupid or something, and it'd be like the same 5 people in this small town.
Yeah.
You don't have options.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But, man, I wonder what would happen if you fought him. Because that is, when a guy goes, you got to fight me, that's pretty intimidating.
Also, how great would that sex be if you just knocked him out and then you're like, all right, sweetie.
Man.
I feel like that would be a big turn on to her and you.
Yes.
Well, what if I fought him, he beat the shit out of me, and then he fucked her?
Oh, that's
That'd be a
hot for
turn on
them.
for him.
Yeah.
That would be sweet.
Maybe that's how they role play. Maybe this is like a whole dynamic thing they do.
That could be, and then you blew it because you didn't yes and him. You're like, never mind. They're like, fuck, we got to go find some other Jew face to do this too.
Right.
It's like improv, those people.
Yeah.
But he was buying you drinks.
Yeah, but it's like, you know when people are buying you drinks, but they're like, good show, but like it's their way of like maintaining control of the situation.
Yeah.
Right,
Yes,
and
yes.
he's trying to get you lick it up so you're a easier beat.
Yeah.
Right.
He was a nut, and it's not my type of city, Cleveland. You know,
Yeah.
there's something off about it. There's parts I love about it, and then there's parts that I'm like, there's a lot of dudes like that.
Yeah. They got a great Little Italy, though.
Oh, do they?
Mama Santa's the best restaurant in the country. It's amazing. Next time you
come
go.
Mama
country.
Santa's.
They make their own pot. It's family owned and run, however, runnies for 70 years, and they make the pasta on site. It takes like a half hour. Best meatball I've ever had. It melts in your mouth.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
unbelievable. Mama Santa's.
Mama Santa's.
Spectacular.
Free plug.
Yeah, and
love a meatball.
you're getting that meatball. It's like chocolate. It comes apart in your
Oh, my
mouth. It's
God.
like amazing.
I
You
love
got to
that.
wait a while, but they're cranking the pasta in the back. It's a big
I
fat
love that.
lady, and she sweats and has tits.
Nice.
Great.
Tit sweat.
Old Italian sweaty tits. are the
Yeah.
best. The best
Terrific.
cooks in the world.
Oh, yeah. My
Yeah.
mom's got those.
They got a good Little Italy, and they got a good sports thing happening, and they got a
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Uh-huh.
I love that place.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, me too.
That's
Is that where they have the
amazing.
Fonzie statue? Is that Cleveland?
I don't
They have a Drew
know.
Carey statue, I believe.
I'm thinking Milwaukee, maybe.
Yeah, Fonzie's Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Rock
Happy
and Roll Hall
Day.
of Fame is amazing because you're watching that slideshow and it's like all these different bands inducted year by year, and it'll be like Blondie, Leonard Cohen, and you're like, oh my god, all these people were told they sucked at one point. They're all
Yes.
doing something so different, and they all succeeded. It's inspiring. I love the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah. It reminds me of that the montage before at the Village Underground when that show starts. That gives me a hard on.
Oh, my God.
I get goosebumps, and you got a picture in there.
I got in looking
It's
up.
Rock and Attell.
Yeah, Chris Rock and David Tell riffing, and me just looking super uncomfortable, and Phil Provencio snaps a photo of it.
Yeah.
But you don't look too uncomfortable. You just look like you're like, hey, here I am. Rock me like a hurricane.
You're just like, oh man, these are like two of the best comics ever,
Yeah.
and you're listening to them riff, and you're just trying to be a fly on the wall and not eavesdrop or be annoying, but I was going on next.
Yeah, that's
That's what it
crazy.
was.
Yeah, that's the best.
Wow. Yeah, it's Robin Williams, it's Dave Chappelle, it's everybody in that thing.
Now, your album, we can't wait for it. We were there for that. Talk
Yeah,
about
you were
that.
there for the early, and Mark was there for the late.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Then we
That
got
was-
hammered
that was-
after.
Yeah, that was a fucking wild night.
Great night.
Oh my god, so fun.
That was a spectacular recording, and so
I'm
much
thinking
fun.
of doing like an album party at the Underground, and I'd want you guys to do sets on it if I did
Oh,
that.
that'd be great.
But so I don't know if I'll do the Underground or like a different bar. But you did that at Cabin. That's like a good thing, I think, to do like a party, right? That's
yeah, but Comedy Central's real cheap, so that's why I did it at Cabin.
that's true.
I don't know if they would want to run
Well, I was
out.
thinking about doing like a charity thing. Like maybe I do like if we give the door to Wounded Warriors, because the cellar's gonna pack out anyway.
Well, Wounded Warriors, I would do some research on Wounded Warriors.
Really?
They're one of these, I'm serious.
I've
They've
done a
become-
bunch of stuff for them. Really?
They've become famous. They're one of these people like Red Cross. They get about 2% of going to veterans.
Are you serious?
They're criminal. Yes, Wounded Warrior. Look it up.
I'm gonna look into it.
Oh, that's
yeah, look
hilarious.
into it. I'm pretty sure I'm getting that right. But yeah,
Yeah.
they're like
I
legendary.
hope you're getting it right. All right, cool.
Well, I mean, if I'm
Yeah.
not, people. If anyone's listening to this fucking as written in stone, they're dumb.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure Wounded Warriors a criminal activity over
Wow.
there.
I did a benefit for them on New Year's a few years ago with Tom Shalhoub, and it was great. It was a great show.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
I heard Mother Teresa's a cunt.
Well, hardy har, but look it up.
I will.
No,
yeah.
but
So we'll look into it before we decide a charity. But
Yeah.
I'd love to do something. Yeah, the CD went great. It was a lot of fun. List there, Norman there, Mackie,
DeVito
the
opening.
whole crew. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, DeVito was great.
I think John, your roommate, was there.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Nimesh came out, and all these
a
guys.
lot of people came out. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people were there. It was really nice.
I banged
And
that redhead that night.
Ooh,
Yeah, that was fun.
that was a wild night.
love
Yeah.
a redhead.
Yeah,
was
she
a-
was red.
That was a great, and the Fat Black Pussycat is such a great place to party. You
Oh,
know?
and there's free drinks are flowing. Woo!
And there's a
Crazy.
VIP section. And when does the album come out? The 23rd of
I
October?
think it comes out the 23rd. I'll maybe do I might do the party a week or two before, just to like give out some copies and stuff.
But I thought albums came out on Tuesdays.
No, that's Blockbuster.
Uh-huh. The rock and roll music albums come out on Tuesdays.
Is that right?
And so do comedy albums.
Is that a
Mine
thing?
did.
That was such
Yeah.
a weird night to me because like I
Look
had
that
like
up, too.
when I was a little kid, I had these camp counselors that I loved, and they came out to my taping,
Oh,
and they were
wow.
these big macho dudes. And I remember they were just fucking wasted at my taping, and then afterwards they're like, "We fucking love you. If you ever need anything, if you ever need us to kick someone's ass," I'm like, "I don't need anyone's ass kicked. What are you talking about?"
They're white knights.
They're the
Yeah,
white knights. I have a lot of white knights in my.
Yeah.
But they're such good dudes. It was just it's a weird combo of like people you grew up with, that your comic friends. Even my mom came out. You know, my
Yeah.
mom and dad were in the crowd. I'm doing that story about getting a blowjob.
Oh, yeah.
And that my mom is involved in that she didn't know about till so I see her put her head down in embarrassment and shame.
Oh,
but,
my
but the
God.
bit killed, so I
Can you tell that story? Because that story is not believable. It is insane.
It's insane.
Oh,
yeah,
I
I'll
can't
tell you
wait.
the whole story. Yeah,
Have I
it's
heard
crazy.
this?
Please.
If you were at the taping, you heard it. Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go.
It's this was a crazy one. Okay, this was here's how the story happened. I think I was with Rachel Feinstein that day. We were working on like a web show she had at the time for Official Comedy.
Yeah.
And we were just writing stuff for it. And then I ended up meeting my parents for lunch. And I get a text from a girl. I went on a date with this girl on OkCupid. After I had a horrible breakup, I was down in the dumps a few years ago. I was down in the dumps from the breakup. And you remember I was like a mess.
Sure,
You guys
yeah, you were a
remember?
mess.
And
Yeah, we were bummed out about it.
and
We didn't want to hear about it.
and this is like the first real like date I went on. Like I hooked up with a couple people. This is the first thing I was like, I need to go on a date. We went out for a date. She's a beautiful girl, and we made out a little. And I remember when I kissed her, I thought she was such a proper girl because it was like cold in New York, and I kissed her, and as I let her go, she said, "Oh my, I didn't expect that," and I was turned on by that.
I
It
love
was, like,
that.
so proper.
Oh
Yeah.
my.
Oh
Jesus.
my, yeah, it was like throwback.
Yeah,
proper.
I got the
Yeah.
vapors.
The vapors.
Picture her with her backless dress.
And then and I was hammered, and I said, "You better fucking expect it." And I never heard from her ever again.
She said, "Oh my," and you said, "You better fucking expect it."
Yeah, I didn't expect that. is what she
Oh,
said. And I was
yikes.
it was terrible. I felt humiliated. Like, I'm a tool.
I've been there. That's not
was-
so bad.
It was in retrospect, it feels worse.
It's
you know?
bad after an
Yeah.
"Oh my," I didn't expect that.
You better fucking expect that.
Yeah, you're supposed to be like, well, there's plenty more where that came from, sweetie, or something.
yeah.
Well, I texted her a couple times, like, it was like once or twice. She never responds. I'm like, oh, that's that, whatever. She texted me out of the blue. This is that day. I was with Rachel. I was at lunch with my parents. In the bit, I revealed that I'm at lunch with my parents. But like, I'm at lunch with my parents. She texted me, "Where are you?" I just said, "I'm in Union Square." She said, I said, "Why?" She said, "I want to see you and I want to get freaky with you." It's the text. She wrote freaky.
See, that's worse.
That's weird, right?
Yeah, that's way worse.
Yeah, but for a guy, we don't. I'm like, I hear that. I'm like, I don't care what that means. Cool.
Sure.
And then I wrote, "Oh yeah," with a question mark, because I don't know how to respond. Like, I don't get that text every day.
Kool-Aid
Parentheses,
guy.
Kool-Aid guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But she said, "Do you want to get your dick sucked or not?" In the message, and I just,
Jesus.
I know it's forward. And I said, in the bit, I say, "I excuse myself from lunch with my parents," you know, and I. Because I'm, I don't believe it's her. In my mind, I'm like someone, like your mind goes to like someone stole her phone or something.
Sure.
Right.
Maybe and it's like trying to rob me.
Yeah.
That's
Or it's Greg Stone or somebody.
it's too good to be true.
Is she Asian?
She was, yeah.
She's
still
not.
is.
she now?
Okay, yeah. Now she's
She
Scandinavian.
is.
Turned into a round eye.
Yes.
But we're at so I call her and she's like, "Look, it's me. I've had a bad week at work. I just want to see you and I want to fuck you." And I was like, good enough for me.
Yeah.
So I hang up. I go back to
Consent.
my mom and I told my mom, I was like, this audition just came up. I got to get out of here.
Uh-huh.
And my mom said, "Go get him, Sammy." And I was like, oh, God.
The sequel to Big Trouble in Little China.
Go get him, Sammy is like engraved in my head now.
Yes.
So I'm off. I go there, and I remember I called Rachel because I was with her, and I was like, "Hey, this is a weird thing to say, but this is really shady. Like, she invited me. This girl invited me to a different address than when I dropped her off, and it's just I know people sublet in New York, but for some reason it's a little like already I was a little weirded out by it. And she said, "Oh, why are you doing this?" And I was like, "I mean, I'm a guy. We do this stuff, you know
Yeah.
why we do it."
Yeah. Fucking ejaculate in somebody's mouth.
Yeah, I hate that whole thing.
But-
why do you do this?
Well, look, women most women aren't wired that way and see how stupid this sounds. Like they break down the facts rather than
Right, but to reverse it, there's a woman at home going, "Hey, I want to suck your dick right now."
exactly.
right,
That's what I
exactly.
would get.
You know.
That's why I say most women.
Yeah.
But Rachel, yeah, she just said, "Okay, I got the address." I texted to her. She's like, "I'm like, if anything happened," but she's like, "I really hate that you're doing this." And I'm like, "Got it, thank you." And I hang up. I go to it's like a luxury building. It's a very nice building. We're in Williamsburg. She comes downstairs and I say, "I need to go to the bar and get a drink because it's the afternoon. I don't like to just jump into these things. I like to have a couple of whiskeys."
Yeah.
And she said, "I have whiskey upstairs. Let's go upstairs." She looks beautiful. And I'm like, okay. And then this I remember thinking was weird. She had this like Japanese bourbon or I guess it's not bourbon, it's whiskey. But it was like a Japanese whiskey. And I was like, that's a weird thing for a girl to own. I remember I thought that. That's a weird thing because that's like a high-end whiskey.
Yeah.
And I don't think of women as, I think like vodka or something, or wine.
Like a banana pepper martini.
Yeah. Something gay.
But and then she poured me a drink. I downed it. She poured another one. I sipped on it. We just start making out, and then she starts going down to me. The place is not decorated at all. It's like it looks like a
interesting.
new place. I'm like, this is a weird place for a woman to live.
Yeah.
she goes down to me, and then she just stops all of a sudden, and she's like, gee, I hope my roommate doesn't catch us. And I was like, yeah, I also hope your roommate doesn't catch us. Let's go to your bedroom. And she said, no, I want him to catch us.
Oh boy!
And that's when I should have fucking left. Obviously, that's a giveaway.
I wouldn't have left either.
Yeah,
no,
I mean,
me either. I wouldn't even have thought of leaving.
yeah, but I mean, that's like in retrospect, that was maybe the sign, and
Right.
or maybe her way of telling me get ready, you know. So we just go in her bedroom. She continues going down on me, and her I guess the door swings open. She's still going down on me.
Oh my
I'm still
God.
hard. And a dude just standing there. He's jacked. He's wearing a tank top. He's all tatted
It's
up.
the guy from Bridgeport.
He set me up.
I've been waiting for you.
He's just staring at me, and she's still going. And that
Wait a minute. Is he Asian?
No.
Uh-oh.
No. He's not. And he's staring at me, and I just kind of turned to him, and in a moment of panic, I said, "Can I help you?"
Wow.
She's still going. I just said, "Can I help you?" to him.
You know, you should have said, "Oh my." Tie it all together.
I said, I didn't expect that. He's like, you better fucking expect it. And no, I said, he just said, are we going to do this or what? I said, do what? And he said, her.
Oh my
And
god!
I said, I think there's been a miscommunication. I start speaking so businessy. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's been a miscommunication. And he gets closer to me, and he's like, you're either in or you're out. And I'm like, it's such a rare feeling to feel like that confused, but with a boner. It's the worst fucking
Yes.
feeling. I hate
Right.
it. I'm terrified. I'm really like, in my head, I'm like, they're going to rob me.
Yeah.
They're going to rob me. That's like where my head's going. I'm feeling like traumatized. He gets close to me. He's like, you're either in or you're out right now. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing this.
Whoa.
So I remember being so scared, I don't even pull my pants up as I walked out. I kind of did like a waddle out. I grabbed my backpack and I left.
Uh-huh.
And I turned to her for like some assurance before I left. And she was just like, shrugged like,
We tried.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like we wanted you to be a part of our game. Well, guess what? Your game was not fucking consensual and disgusting.
Yeah.
You could have asked me if I was into that.
Totally.
Right. Yeah,
Also, if that was
if
one
that
of your
reversed.
if that was one of your exactly, that was me doing that to her.
Right.
Oh my God.
You'd be in jail.
Yeah, but I mean, also, if it was one of her female friends, I'm sure I wouldn't have had a problem with it. It was the fact that I'm like, the guy made it scary, and that's when I
Yeah.
felt what it's like to be a woman in a fucked up situation.
Of course.
the guy made it scary. Also, like, dude, can you be more vulnerable than having your dick out?
Right.
And
Yeah.
a guy just staring at you. So I remember I called. This is the best part. I called Rachel, who's furious at me, but she's okay she's like thrilled that I'm okay. She's like, I'm mad you did this, but I'm glad you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
I called Phil Hanley, said the exact same thing. I just need to talk to someone.
You
You
need
know?
to talk to two women.
You should have called me. I'd have been like, "What are you, an idiot? Get back in there."
Well, that's what Dave Smith said to me. He was like, I would have done it, man. You know?
Really?
Yeah, he's like, I would have stuck to.
I wouldn't have done it.
Well, then, yeah, it was just too creepy. I mean, it's just not my thing. And then I remember the best part was my mom called me at the end to see how the audition went.
Oh, that's hilarious. I didn't get the part.
Yeah, I said more people went out than I anticipated.
That's funny. Maybe she said, "Go get them, Sammy."
Go get them.
She knew about it.
Go get them.
See, I feel like, this guy could have probably pulled it off with a little finesse to just go in there like, you in or you out.
It was intimidating.
Yeah, like, go like, hey, sorry to barge in.
I've also had
you know.
that thing on like internet dating sites where a girl's like, I have him with a guy, but we're in a group stuff, and I'm just like, well, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
But I think, but from their standpoint, I think their plan is pretty good because I think we can debate this, but what percentage of men do you think would have been like, all right? Because I think a lot of guys have that fantasy and would be excited. At least 40% of men would have been like, great.
Yeah, I'm saying, you're right. I think people would be into it, but I'm saying their execution was not good. This guy coming in is bad news.
I think they could have done better by being like, hey, would you be into fucking doubling up on me with a guy? That makes more sense. And you could
Yeah.
be like, no, I'm with my parents right now. Thank you anyways.
Right.
But I do think a minimum of 40% of men would have been like, boy, this is weird, but get on over here, you hunk.
It's also different when you know the guy in a weird way because
But you
that
know the guy.
Yeah, no. If you do know the guy, because
If I walked out of
if
there.
a combo of us two were like drunk, and this really hot girl's like, I want you to both take me.
Yeah.
And we look at each other and be like, we won't tell anyone about this.
Sure, I've done that before.
But we'll do it, except on this podcast, maybe. you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
And you
And-
hope that guy's Gary Veter.
Yeah, that would be the most fun
That'd
orgy
be
ever. It'd be
ideal.
adorable.
You could throw
Yeah.
both of them around.
But that makes it feel like at least safe. But like, yeah, the idea of a stranger walking in and scaring you, maybe that was part of their fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Seems like it. Boy, you've had a lot of threesome
Close
things.
calls.
Yeah,
happening.
a lot of intimidation stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean that one was like that one did me wrong for a while. That one was like, ooh, that messed me up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's like a short story.
You have trust issues.
But now you're all settled down and
Yeah, I got a girl I like now.
yeah, that's great.
Going
Good for
well.
you.
Gal, you seem happy.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
Things are going well.
You
I'm the
look
happiest I've
terrible,
been. This is the happiest I've been in a while. I'm like,
You're the white knight of comedians with the industry.
what do you mean?
You give them the business.
do I?
You don't stand up to that industry, baby.
Well, what do you? In what way? What do you
I'm
mean?
just saying, you tell them what's what, your management and whatever.
Oh, I guess I do. Yeah. I don't
yeah.
know. I have a hard time. You just know me. I have a hard time. That's why I had a conversation with her before, and I just want to make sure we're on good terms because I would have come here in a bad mood. Mm-hmm. Because I can't fake a good mood.
Right.
I am like who I am always. I
Yes.
can't just. If I go on stage in a bad mood, I'm going to be in a bad mood for the set, and maybe the set will turn me into a good mood. But I can't fake.
Right.
I can't fake it.
You're
Yeah.
not fake. And I remember the whole time we were dating, you never faked one orgasm.
Not once.
You always came right on me or apologized for not. All right, we gotta wrap it up here, boy. It just flew by.
Oh, wow. Yeah, good
was
guest.
quick.
Yeah,
Great guest.
great guest. You brought stories. You didn't yell at us. It was terrific.
That was
Yeah.
fun, man.
I cried.
When does this come out?
2 weeks.
Comes out 2 weeks from today, which I don't want to give up all our secrets, but
Yeah.
what day is that? I don't know. August?
Shit.
Something? I
Hopefully
can't do
it's
the
August.
math.
Come see me at the Punchline in San Francisco and then the Punchline in Sacramento.
Yeah. What do you want to plug there, Sammy Boy Davis?
Well, I'll be at Carolina Comedy Club August 26th to 29th, I think.
Good club.
Yeah, it comes out that week.
It's all
so.
right.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, and then
Trying to get
I'll
booked
be
there.
I'll be on Conan the week before, so you could find
Whoa!
so you could find the clip probably on YouTube. Or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. And leave a nice comment for the
Yeah.
man, will you?
You might have heard it here last, actually. I don't know when this comes out.
Oh, yeah. Good
But
point.
just like you can go to my calendar, sammorril.com, and I have a bunch of dates up there.
And the album will be available
October
soon.
23rd, I believe, and
Yeah.
I've listened to the rough cut. I'm not happy with a lot. I'm pretty happy with it. It's good, I think.
Yeah.
And October 24th is the half hour.
Yeah, you and me, man. I can't. That's insane.
Yeah, it's a big night.
I got to tape with Donnelly. I get to debut with you. I get to be with friends all the time. It's great.
That's great. Well, thanks for coming on, buddy. And at Sam Morril, right?
Yes.
And check him out. 2 R's, 1 L. Back-to-back M's in there.
There you go.
At Sam Morril. And then you know us at Mark Norm, at Joe List Comedy. Follow us up on Instagram. You're Mark Normand on Instagram.
Yes, sir. One word.
And then what's the fan page on Facebook?
Just Mark Normand fan page.
yeah.
And you have one now.
I'm comedian Joe List, so give that a like. And check out Last Comic Standing. We're coming down to the wire.
I'm rooting for you, man.
Thanks, buddy. Fingers crossed. We'll
Oh,
see
yeah.
what happens. I'll tell you.
It's good to see good people go far.
Yeah.
Thanks. So yeah.
And
anyways.
great comics. I didn't mean to just. Say a good person.
So we gotta wrap it up. Thanks for listening, everybody. We love you. Appreciate it. That's Sam Morril. Thank you.
Oh, my. Hey, now, folks, check out the audio-only version of Sal Vulcano on Tuesdays with Stories and back in 2001. Thank you.
September 10th.